In today's video, we're going to continue on with our series where we're covering all 31 NHL teams, recapping their 17-18 season and looking ahead to their 2018 offseason, discussing what we should expect from these clubs to prepare for next season. Today's team we're discussing is the Vegas Golden Knights, and that's coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams. So if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned off the top, today we're discussing the Vegas Golden Knights, the Stanley Cup Finals runners-up. As we know, the Vegas Golden Knights had an awesome season, their very first one in the NHL. They had tremendous amount of success, went all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Unfortunately came up a little short in the finals, but they got nothing to be ashamed of. They had an absolutely amazing season. Now today's video also features a very special guest, somebody who covers the Vegas Golden Knights directly, does a fantastic job at it. You've probably seen him on this channel before, and maybe you're subscribed to his channel as well, but his name is Louis from Vegas Golden Knights Coverage. I'm going to quickly do a recap here of the 17-18 season, then I'm going to pass it over to him to take a look at the 2018 offseason. Now, as we know, the inaugural season for the Vegas Golden Knights was absolutely amazing. They had a tremendous record, finishing with a 51-24-7 record, 109 points, winning their division in the Pacific, one of the top teams in the NHL. What an amazing story this team gave us this year. I mean, nobody thought they would come this far. Many people thought as an expansion club they would not have nearly as many wins and points, but they've been proving everybody wrong all season, even nicknaming themselves the Golden Misfits. Obviously, a lot of these guys felt like they were given up on by their old teams, so they kind of probably played a lot with a chip on their shoulder and felt like they had a lot to prove, and they did exactly just that. They proved a lot of people wrong that had given the right opportunity to play with the right players in the right situations, that a lot of these guys can be big stars here in the NHL. Now let's take a look here at some other team stats to dissect this team a little bit further. They finished with 268 goals for, number 5 in the NHL. So this team can certainly put the puck in the net. They finished with 225 goals against, which was 8th best in the NHL. So obviously, scoring goals as well as keeping it out of their own net, both of them were quite good strengths for the Vegas Golden Knights. Now looking at special teams here, they had a power play percentage of 21.4, which is a very solid rating, put them 11th best in the NHL, and their penalty killing was an 81.4% for being in 10th place in the NHL. To have both your power play and your penalty killing hovering around 10th best or better in the NHL is excellent, especially for a brand new team. So special teams were certainly a strength for the Golden Knights. Face-off percentages was probably the one area that wasn't quite as good. They finished with a 48.9%, which put them 22nd in the NHL. So obviously, you know, face-offs were a tremendous strength for them. So one of the few things they really could look forward to improving on for next season. Now let's take a look at some individual players here who had awesome seasons. There was enough of them that we can discuss for sure. Obviously, Wild Bill William Karlsson came through with a fantastic 40-plus goal season. Obviously, last night he won the Lady Byng Memorial Trophy, so he had a breakout season for sure. He was a tremendous player for the Golden Knights this year. Obviously, Jonathan Marchessault put up 75 points. He had an awesome year. Riley Smith as well. Smith put up 60 points, but he only played 67 games due to injury. So obviously, that whole top line was a tremendous offensive force for the Golden Knights all season long. Their second line, David Perron, James Neal, and Erik Haula, all had tremendous years. Neal putting up 25 goals, Haula putting up 29, and David Perron having over 60 points. So, I mean, really, that second line was tremendous for them all season long as well. I thought Colin Miller had a tremendous year in the back end, putting up over 40 points as well. Miller was an absolute beast back there. Nate Schmidt put up 36 points and was plus 19, so Nate Schmidt was also a beast back there. Schmidt and Miller definitely led this club from the back end as well. Shea Theodore, another youngster, had a tremendous year as well. But I thought Miller and Schmidt, by far, were the top two guys on the back end for the Golden Knights. Obviously, goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury had an awesome season, an incredible playoff run. It's too bad he wasn't able to play more games in the regular season. Unfortunately, he did miss time due to injury. But he still put up some great results when he was between the pipes here. He finished with a 29-13-4 record, a 2.24 goals against, and a 927 save percentage. If he would have been able to get into more games as well and maintain those stats, I think Fleury would have won the Vezina Trophy. He was that good this year, and really in the playoffs, he was a beast as well. And if they would have had a better result in the finals and won the Stanley Cup, he would have been the Conn Smythe Trophy winner for sure. Looking at some guys who didn't have such a great season, there's not very many of them, but for one, I think Lucas Sbisa got out to a pretty good start with the Golden Knights. Looked like he was playing some of the best hockey I've seen Sbisa play, but then his play kind of tailed off. He got hurt, missed a lot of time, didn't have a great playoff, obviously had a few blunders there in the finals against the Capitals. So really, Lucas Sbisa certainly not one of the bright spots for this club. Thomas Tatar picked up at the trade deadline. Had a hard time getting used to his new team and fitting in. Didn't really produce all that much in the games he got in with the Golden Knights after the trade. Vadim Shipachyov experiment early on did not go well, and he ended up going back to the KHL. So obviously that was something that didn't work out well for Vegas this year. One of the few moves that George McPhee did that didn't pan out. And another defenseman I thought that didn't have a great season was John Merrill. Merrill really didn't have all that strong a year, and certainly a player who might be not with the club next season. Now we're going to bring in Louis from Vegas Golden Knights coverage to discuss the offseason.
Now, what did the Vegas Golden Knights need to do in this offseason to have similar success like they did last season, where they made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final? Couldn't quite get it done against the Washington Capitals, but man, what a run they had. How can we get better? The only way you can really get better is win the cup, right? But how can we make this team better on paper at least? How can we do first thing right in the offseason? It's going to start with re-signing your free agents. James Neal, the real deal. Would I like to get him back? Absolutely, I'd love to get him back. If he wants $7 million, I don't want to get him back though. I'd rather put that money elsewhere. Being that he's like 30 years old, and this is probably his last chance to get a nice contract, and also he's going to want to probably be lengthy. I say if he wants 3 years for $6 million, I'd probably do that, right? But if he's looking for 4 to 6 years, $6 to $7 million, I would want to pass on that. But if they want to do that, I mean, you're not going to go wrong keeping him, but you got to be careful if you're going to overspend or not. I say don't keep him if he wants about $7 million for a long contract. I wouldn't want that. But that's just me personally. David Perron, I feel like he's the most valuable guy. If I had to pick between James Neal and David Perron, I'd pick David Perron, and here's why. He's the most valuable guy on that second line. That second line has Eric Haula, James Neal, and then David Perron, right? You got Perron out there. He's the motor of that second line, in my opinion. The motor of that second line. You got to re-sign this guy. You have to. How many assists did he have? I'll tell you how many. Shoot, I don't remember. But he had a lot of assists. Okay, you had Eric Haula over there with 29 goals, and then you had James Neal, the real deal, had 25 goals, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure David Perron, I think he had 66 total points. He had more assists than he had goals. Let's say that, right? And so a good amount of that, the 25 goals and then the 29 goals, practically 30 goals from Eric Haula, that's a huge contribution, was from just David Perron keeping the puck alive. He's so strong with that puck. Knocking him off the puck is hard. He kept so many plays alive for those boys, and he made them look better. He had a total of 50 assists. 50 assists between David Perron and Eric Haula. A lot of those goals were coming off of David Perron's stick. That's what happened. Next, I say you got to sign him. And I bet you sign him for about $4 million. $4 million. He's probably going to want a lengthier contract, but if you can get him at $4 million, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. Next, Ryan Reeves. Rolling up those sleeves. Drop the gloves. Catch these hands, bro. Ryan Reeves. What do we do with him? I say if he wants $2 million, I'd take that. He was huge in the playoffs. Huge in the playoffs. He had the game-winning goal to close out the Winnipeg series. That was huge. If he doesn't get that, maybe he goes to overtime. Maybe Winnipeg wins it. Maybe they go on some crazy streak and Vegas don't even make it to the Stanley Cup final, right? He had another huge one. He was getting goals in the playoffs somehow. I don't understand how. In big games, he got it done. But you don't pay Ryan Reeves for the points, right? He barely had points. What are you paying for? You pay him for the physical presence. You pay him to bring the noise. You pay him to bring some energy, bring some fire. Pay him to just make it all spicy out there and get people afraid of him. That's what you pay him for. You pay him for the energy that he can bring your team. And he did that throughout the season. And I like it. If he wants $2 million, why not? He's 31 years old, I'm pretty sure. 30, 31. I don't mind paying him $2 million. If he wants more than that, luckily we got someone else. Luckily we got William Carrier, who's another physical presence out there. Ryan Reeves wants too much. You got your backup plan, William Carrier. I like to re-sign both, but if you can't, at least you could do is sign William Carrier. He didn't have many points. He had under 5 points for the whole season, but man, he brought some physical play. He had a lot of potential. And he played with fire. He gained momentum during the playoff series against the Kings. He was annoying the heck out of Drew Doughty. If you could do that, you get under his skin, you sweep the Kings, keep him, right? And yeah, he don't have a lot of points on paper, but with your eyes when you're watching him, the kid can play. He can play. He can make some nice moves. The thing that he could not do, he's 23 years old, keep in mind, he just couldn't finish. He could get the puck in a nice place. He could get a nice scoring chance. He just couldn't put the puck in the back of the net. You can teach that. You can teach that. He's young. He's a young kid. You can always teach that. And he played with that physical presence. Did I not mention that? Man, he hits like a truck. A truck. He hits so hard, man. He hits so hard, he's making things that are hard look not hard. Okay? And you could probably sign him for just a minimum. You know? $500,000, a very low risk, high reward type of thing. And I think he's going to get better, especially only being 23. And he showed a lot of potential, in my opinion, if you're watching this guy. Then you got Shea Theodore, the young defenseman. I think he's like 22. Played amazing. Great year. He has so much potential. He's going to be a stud. You got to re-sign this guy. You got to re-sign Shea Theodore. He's going to be a stud. Just do it. Yeah, I mean, he's 22. People do stupid things when they're 22. When I was 22, let's not even get into it. I did a lot of dumb things. A lot of dumb things. Stupid things, right? He made some stupid things, some stupid decisions on the ice at 22 during the Stanley Cup Finals. But you can't hold that against him, right? People learn, people grow, people mature. He's going to get better. We can't just base off of going to resign him just off that, okay? You got to resign this kid. He can get points. He can dish the puck. He plays solid defense position, and he's only going to be getting better. And eventually, he could have that potential to be quarterbacking back there. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Colin Miller next, another defenseman, right? Colin Miller, 25 years old. Keep him. When you were in a freaking, oh my gosh, every time you wanted to score some points, what blue liner did you want out there? You wanted Colin Miller because he got points on the board. That slap shot was freaking ridiculous. How hard he hit that thing. Goodness sakes. Sometimes they'd have to re-net all the goals because he just hit so hard it go right through. Rumor has it. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard. Keep Colin Miller. He always gets some offense going. He produces things. You need him out there. And at first I was like, he's a good offensive defenseman. During the playoffs, somehow, he ended up playing defense. He was playing some solid defense, laying the body on people, just looking like an all-around player, man. And he's only going to get better for the 25-year-old. Yo, keep him. Lucas Spisa, get rid of him. Holy freaking A, man. Get rid of Spisa. Get freaking rid of him. We paid him $3.6 million if he were to play the whole season. He only played like 35 to 36 games. It was 30-something games. Injured a lot. Not reliable, in my opinion. And a lot of times when he's playing defense, he leaves the team. He leaves Fleury out to dry. You know? And especially in the Stanley Cup Final, we just kept having him out there, which I understand. You have to pick Garrison, you pick Merrill, or you pick Spisa. Paper, you want Spisa. But every time he's taking that puck behind the net or he has any pressure on him, he don't know what to do with the puck. He usually coughs it up, turnover turns into a point most of the time. That's what it felt like. And pretty much that happened twice, and I called it both times during Game 5 when I was there. Get rid of Spisa. We can improve the blue line. Especially I see, he just got paid $3.6 million on his last contract for some years, right? He's probably going to want at least around $3 million. I don't want to put that towards him. Get rid of him. Let him go. We got to increase the blue line. But we ain't going to do it with Spisa. And the last thing, oh my, wow, Bill, the Swedish gunslinger, William Karlsson, he coming in so hot, making things that are hot like not hot. You got to re-sign him. Pay the man. Dollar bills, y'all. Give him whatever he wants. You need to re-sign him. But I think you could sign him for a lot cheaper. I think you can because I think there's going to be that fair. He's never played like this before, right? He never had 40-plus goals. Heck, he had 10 goals in a season before this year, and now he has 43. In his head, he's got to think, can I do that somewhere else? Can I do that with different line mates? Can I do that when my line mates aren't Jonathan Marchessault and Riley Smith? Can I do that somewhere else? If I was him, I'd be like, I don't know if I could do that somewhere else. I just did it my first year. These line mates were really clicking. I don't want to go anywhere else. Maybe I strike up a deal. Maybe you sign him for a little bit less. $5 million for 3 years. $4 million for 3 years. Probably $5 million for 3 years is what I'm thinking, right? That 3 years, if he keeps doing it consistently, then you get that big paycheck. You only be 28 at that time. You can still sign for a big one if you're still scoring 35-plus goals, right? But until then, I think you could sign him for $5 million for 3 years. Keep him around. Maybe do with Jonathan Marchessault. He ended up signing a 6-year extension for $5 million. Maybe you get everyone on there to be under that $20 million range, which is amazing. Right now, I think it'd be around, if you sign Karlsson for 5, 6, you'd be looking at $15, $16 million for your whole first line. I like that. That's your money line right there, right? You get under for $20 million, I think you win it. I think you're doing good right there. And that's just that's just our free agency is what I think we need to do. William Karlsson, the no-brainer, right? Shea Theodore, almost all these are no-brainers. The only one I'd say, get rid of, Lucas Spisa. I don't want him, right? Tell me what you think down in the comments below, though. I'm interested to hear Would y'all keep Lucas Sbisa? Because I know I wouldn't. I do not want him there. I got love for him because he's part of the inaugural season. He's always going to be a part of that, right? As far as not looking at just like my emotions into it type of thing and just being set aside like I just want this team to win and get better, I want to get rid of Sbisa. Okay? What do the Golden Knights need to do to improve after re-signing these free agents and unrestricted free agents and all that? Like I said, you got to improve the blue line. Can we get a better blue liner out there? I'm not saying get these guys, but I'm saying if you can get an Erik Karlsson, Doughty type of blue liner, you in business. You upgrade it. No longer do you have to be playing a Merrill, a Garrison, or a Sbisa. You know what I'm saying? I like the rest of our blue liners. I think they all got potential, pretty young for the most part. And remember, I'm not saying they're going to get Erik Karlsson. I'm not saying they're going to get Drew Doughty. I'm not saying they're going to get, OEL. I'm just saying we need a blue liner of that caliber. Can we make that happen this offseason? Time will tell. But I'm thinking eventually, if you can get one of those, that's going to be the biggest upgrade that we could possibly do that can really help out this team. And then absolutely everyone's going after Tavares, right? Everyone's going after Tavares. Seattle not even a team yet. They're probably trying to get him right now. Who knows? By the way, they can't do that. I'm just messing with y'all. But all I mean is everyone's going after Tavares. Do I think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to go? You got to at least try it, right? You got to at least try it. He's so young. And center is one of the most important positions aside from goalie, in my opinion. You got to at least try. Do you make it happen? I don't know. All I know is we got to increase the blue line. I like the forwards. Everyone's fast. Oh, by the way, you got to re-sign Thomas Nosek because he was huge out there. He was huge. Provided a lot of points on that fourth line. I mean, and then you got Tomas Tatar. He's probably going to take one of those second line roles if you end up losing Perron or James Neal, one of those two. So ideally, you want to get another second or third liner that's going to be pretty good. Who do you go for? I'm not really sure. There's so many options out there. It just kind of depends what we do with our free agents moving forward. But I definitely think if we get a solid blue liner, we're going to be in business. I think Tatar's a nice safety net in case David Perron or James Neal leaves. Let me know what you think Vegas needs to do. The most important thing is handling the free agency right now. Handling our own free agents and our own unrestricted free agents and restricted free agents and all the restricted and unrestricted, all those things. Okay, you got to handle that. You got to handle that. After that's handled, that's another story, right? What you do with other people, with other free agents, depends on what you do with your own free agents. So it's hard for me to answer that right now. All I know is you got to improve on the blue line. You got to let Sbisa go. And then if you can get Tavares, I mean, that'll help any team. That'll help any team. And then, I mean, people are talking about our prospects like Cody Glass, Nick Suzuki, Eric Brandstrom. I'm not sure if they're ready, right? They haven't even played a season in the AHL yet. And that's what you need to be realistic. Do you want a 19-year-old kid that weighs about the weight of a feather? You want him out there banging bodies with these guys that are 200, 205, 220 pounds? I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to freaking risk them out there like that. Let him play in the AHL a little bit. There ain't no rush. Vegas doing good. No rush. There ain't no rush to bring him up right now. Right? If you ain't got to do it, don't do it. I like to improve the blue line. That's what I want to do. Let me know. Let Top Shelf Hockey know what you think the Golden Knights need to do this offseason. But right now, we got to take care of this offseason, starting with the free agency. So thank you all for having me on. Make sure you go down there. Make sure you subscribe to Top Shelf because he's killing it right now. Mike has such a good channel. He's killing it. Make sure you hit that like button. We'd really like it if you did, man. And I'm saying go Knights go. Thank you for having me on.
So make sure you leave some comments down below. What do you expect from the Vegas Golden Knights this offseason? Do you see them making any big moves, bringing any more star players? There's been lots of speculation they may go after a top defenseman like an Erik Karlsson or a John Carlson. There's certainly plenty of things they could do. They got lots of flexibility, all kinds of cap space. They have a lot of players that don't have contracts for next year as well, so they certainly have a lot of flexibility in who they bring back and who they don't. So they really could do a lot of big things this offseason, so it will certainly be interesting to watch. So let us know down in the comments what you think they're going to do. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go over to Louis' channel of Vegas Golden Knights coverage and make sure you subscribe. You'll love his content. Even if you're not a Golden Knights fan, I guarantee you'll enjoy his content. It's very entertaining, and so you definitely need to go check that out for sure. If you're new to the channel here as well, I hope you'll subscribe and join us. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. So make sure you subscribe if you're new. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up as well. We'd both appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time.